Good morning to you all. This 1st of December, so we're really starting to move towards the solstice now. And I am rambling out in the Cursush garden in this beautiful, beautiful sunlight. Not properly dressed yet, still rambling around in my morning ensemble of fleecy dressing gown, shawl and wellies. That's my standard morning attire. And I've just been musing and thinking about lots of stuff, really, but just how important it is to kind of keep it real, keep it simple. And in this work that I do with Cursush, really all the real power, the real magic is very simple. It's in the land, and connecting with the ancestors. They're in the land, they're part of it. And when we go to, even before, the people who came and built our amazing sacred sites, our Bruan Shi and our La Crue and all those places, the land is the thing. The actual physical land that we have our being on, where we really feel that sacred power. That's where the magic is. And I've been thinking a lot about those really ancient hunter-gatherer ancestors, and whether we can say a direct line or not. Those black-skinned, blue-eyed people, they're the people, that had their being on this land, and then another wave comes and brings agriculture, and then the forerunners of us, the Irish, according to our Book of Invasions, which the scholars will call a pseudo-history, the forerunners of the Irish are invaders, immigrants coming in, and we've evolved to be who we are now. And so I was kind of reflecting on that ugly face of racism that is on the rise, sadly, is growing. I'm thinking about the East Wall protests, about, notwithstanding, every community should be properly kind of engaged with and spoken to when there are changes happening in their community. But that kind of really vicious, angry resistance to new people coming in. Our whole history, our legacy has been because of people coming in. If waves of people hadn't come in, different tribes, different groups from different parts of the world, we wouldn't have Newgrange. We wouldn't have agriculture. We wouldn't have all these amazing sacred places that we think of as intrinsically part of our heritage and our culture. And last night I saw an absolutely beautiful, heartwarming little video shared by Jess Burke Montague on TikTok, and it came up on my Facebook feed, and I shared it into my Cursush work page. And it is a beautiful man from Zimbabwe who is dancing sean-nós and speaking really beautiful Irish, and he speaks so eloquently. Cuthbert is his name. He speaks so eloquently about dance, about language, about a shared colonial past, and the welcome he has found in Ireland, and how, looking at him, how he has really connected into the culture in a way that lots of Irish people don't do. And when you start talking about like our own and Ireland for the Irish and Irish first and all this, go, that man is more steeped in Irish culture, speaks our indigenous language, is dancing sean-nós dancing. Is he not our own? Because to me, he absolutely is. And it's just something really worth watching and really reflecting on. And that power of artistic expression and of language to connect us and to form those bonds of connection that are so important. Places evolve, language evolves, peoples evolve, and I am someone who absolutely is dyed in the wool committed to our heritage, our culture, our language, our indigenous practices, insofar as we have any idea as to what they were. And I think, it's really important to just keep things simple. And so, walking this path of an Irish pagan priestess, being a teacher, guide, facilitator for other people to come and share this, it can never be an exclusionary thing. It is for everyone who is here. It is for everyone who is connected to here. It is for people who so many generations ago, their ancestors moved from this land, maybe because of famine or other reasons. And so they find themselves now citizens of some far-flung place far from here, but this place is in their blood. And that's really tricky, for those of you who are in Australia or America, Canada, you are essentially living on stolen land, land acquired through genocide. And that's really tough because that whole connecting into the land where you are is really important, but the indigenous practices there are not yours. And you have to find a way to connect with what's there without appropriating. And then, of course, there's looking back to where do your roots hark from, where's your bloodline from. And it's important that you get a sense of what's really real here. So we don't need to ham up the Celtic gobbledygook kind of thing for for the American market, which tends to happen. We don't need to kind of make it all sparkly. It's sparkly enough. Like, look at this day, look at this land, look at the sun, it's sparkly in and of itself. So, no quarter for racism of any kind. And just plug into the sacred in the land. Read your mythology, get the best version of it, the best translation you can find. A culture lives because people practice it. Retelling of the stories is a huge part of that. And honouring the turn of the wheel of the year, honouring the seasons. And so here we are on this very first day of December, and for me this is the beginning of a little vigil of gratitude, because this time last year my son was in hospital and I came to the temple here and I prayed and prayed every single day. I prayed for his return. And I prayed that Bridget, with her healing and her transformational energy, would bring him through. And I prayed to the Morrigan that he would find success in the battle, the battle for wellness. And I'm happy to say he was discharged from hospital on the winter solstice last year, and I will be eternally grateful for that. So now that December has come, I am lighting my candle every day. At least I'm trying to do it with one hand, which isn't really working for me, I must admit. So I'm just going to move over here, put the candle up a bit higher and try and get it lit without burning my hand. It's proving tricky. Sorry about this fiddling around. As I say, I'm not a cinematographer. I'm just speaking to you from the heart. Okay, so here is my lit candle. Gawn buchas of Rige, buchas Maureen. Offrim, Movas, Mugra, Musharvish. Go meg sláinte, like Mawak, like Maclán Galéir. Like Macordja. Like Matua. Grau Auli. And so that little gratitude prayer was giving thanks to Bridget. Gawn buchas, I give thanks of Rige, Bridget, Avorian, Morrigan. And I offer Offriam, Mavas, my respect, Mugra, my love, Musharavish, my service. And go make sláinte ag Mawak, may my son have health. Go make sláinte ag Maclán, may my family have health. Go make sláinte ag Macordja, may my friends have health. Go make sláinte ag Matua, may my tribe community have health. Go rau auli. So it is. It's done. And so, with my morning prayer offered and my candle blown out, I will go back out to the garden. So those are some of my musings for today. Culture, ancestral legacy, heritage, love of this land, love of this mythology, love of our songs and stories is not an exclusionary thing, must not be an exclusionary thing. And for the world to go forward, for us to learn the lessons of history is very, very important. And we embrace people from anywhere who take an interest in this land and this culture. And the colour of people's skin or where they came from should not bother us, because where we came from as a people is very diverse, many and varied, and if we look at our mythology, what we see is wave after wave of different tribes of people coming from lots of different places, and so it is today. And so humanity and nations and peoples evolve. Gra agus banachtaí, love and blessings. Slán go fóill.